Good afternoon, everyone. We are starting the event in a minute or two. Thanks for being patient. Thanks for joining us. We'll be joining in a moment. We'll be starting in a moment. Thank you all students, all participants who have joined us this afternoon through MS Teams or through YouTube. Thank you very much, you all. I hope I wish you all a good learning today. Before we move forward and I hand over this platform to today's speaker, Mr. Taran, I would like to talk a little bit about today's event. So we are at CSIR celebrating Jigyasa Mahotsav 2022. As a part of this Amrit Mahotsav Science Showcase Roadmap to 2047, Ministry of Science and Technology through CSIR is celebrating the Jigyasa Mahotsav 2022. So through this competition, CSIR is presenting an opportunity to show your creative skills, to develop as a scientific temper, and to create some good content on STEM topics. This particular event gives you an opportunity to create content in Hindi or English, and that content could be hand drawn or digital. You can create content like videos, comics, science fictions, infographics, animation, app development, and video. Anything you like to develop, you are welcome. The themes you can opt are energy, health, artificial intelligence, disaster mitigation, water conservation, climate change, or agro-technologies. I must say here that these are very broad fields and you can opt for any specialization among these fields to create your content. So content information, the content could be on how can you identify the issues in these themes, these areas, what are the challenges faced by the, particularly in perspective of Indian society. You can develop your content for creating awareness. You can identify some solutions through your content, or you can have some futuristic visions altogether different perspective about the issues that we are facing in the mentioned fields, the mentioned themes. The terms and conditions are very much clear, pretty clear to all. This is free to enter. Anybody can participate. You can have a team of 1 or 2 or up to 5 members in your team. So the total prize will be provided to a team in case of team wins. If not, the individual member certificate will be issued to individuals in a team. So we'll get a certificate for sure. Entries are invited from class 8th to class 12th, and medium of competition is Hindi or English. You can choose any of the domains to present your artwork or the animation or the app. You'll have all the information on Jigyasa website. So a part of this, to give you an idea how to create this content, the CSIR is organizing various boot camps. So this is bootcamp 2, where we are actually working on the content creation. So all the participants of these bootcamps will receive participation e-certificates. And after this talk, we'll have a session, a fun quiz that you can attend. So these are the bootcamp information. Today we are at the 5th bootcamp in bootcamp 2. We are organizing an app development bootcamp. And today's speaker is Mr. Taranpreet Singh. He's an Android developer, so he'll be joining you soon in next 5 minutes. For more information, you can go to the website jigyasa-csir.in/vigyan-mahotsav/info. There you can find all the information, all the terms and conditions for participating in the events. So today's event is focused on app development. I welcome you all who have joined us through YouTube and MS Teams. This is our YouTube channel. You can join from YouTube channel also, CSIR Jigyasa. You can search on YouTube and can join. And you can also watch our previous videos, previous bootcamp videos also there. Jigyasa, through its virtual lab platform, is contributing to the content development in non-curriculum scientific topics. You can watch videos, you can see comics, you can play with simulations or games or interactives on the website, that is jigyasa-csir.in. The flyer of the event I already talked about. These are our social media channels. I request you all please follow our social media channel platforms for all the updates. Today's speaker, let me introduce our today's speaker, Mr. Taranpreet Singh Mahal. He is an Android developer in Zoop Technology Private Limited. Tarandeep has a vast experience in Android app developments, more than a decade. He has pretty good experience in gaming and machine learning in Python. And talking about his extra accolades, he has represented India in South Asian Grappling Championship. He also a very good chess player. And beside all these his affiliations, he is also a good entrepreneur. He himself has running a company of its own in app development. With that, I'm ending my presentation, and I invite Mr. Taranpreet Singh for his talk. Over to you, Taranpreet.
Thanks, Chandra. I would like to thank, first of all, the Government of India and the Ministry of Science and Technology and CSIR for taking such a great initiative, Jigyasa, to promote motivation to the students and the participants. And I would also like to personally thank Mr. Vikrant Ambika and Chandrasekhar for contacting me with the CSIR. And moving on to thanks all the participants for joining. And let's start with my topic is Android development, but it's came in the IT sector. So IT sector is a very vast and is kind of a boon to our country because it supports our country by nearly $200 billion of business to India and employing lakhs and lakhs of engineers. And a lot is exported and we outsource the technology and websites or and the mobile development. So why IT? Because it is one of the fastest growing and you have the option multi-career, like it's not just sector to only just one field, and you name it, and technology is backing that. You name it healthcare, you name it agriculture, all these spheres you came across is backed by technology nowadays. Because we are now living in a 21st century and this century is totally dedicated to the information age, and it's our responsibility to take this forward and as much participate in this technology innovation as much we can. And backing to our point, like regarding the IT, like those who are in the IT profession, like they have the option for the freelancing and entrepreneur if they wish to start their own business. And it's a very vast market. So let's because in the IT, we have like multiple languages. Like you can choose anyone, not just an app development. Like there's for the website you can check out HTML, CSS, Java, JavaScript, and you can be a front-end developer, back-end or full stack, or in the app development, iOS, Android, or in the React or JavaScript. There are multiple options that you can start with. And okay, so we are living in the digital transformation. And before starting the session for the Android, I would like to just tell like which categories we can target. Like nowadays, Android has overtaken almost all the operating system. You can name it, and there's the most like nearly 80% of the market is of Android. Not just defined to mobile devices that we are keeping in our pockets, or you can say like tablets or the smart watch. And nowadays, even in the cafes, the technology is used. So, like earlier, like we were used to um, online order via only websites only. Now, you want a pizza, you order from Domino's. You wish to book an room, you call it Oyo, or all these are the mobile application that's are developed in that's the app develop come under app development. And there are various categories for the competitors who are participating in this event. Like you can choose from tools, video player, social, music, news, communication, travel application, productivity, entertainment, photography, finance, weather, or business. And you can choose from any of these topics, and you can make a start and developing application on it. It's a essential part, like so. But before starting on to the app development, first we need to like there we should have the knowledge for the code Java, because it's the basics like we should know about, and thereafter we can move on to Android development. So, so I won't be sharing the PPT, but I would rather search on the Google so that the participant after the session can easily like search the you can know about the tutorials and search accordingly. So there are multiple websites like you can know you can start with. And okay, whether it's here.
Chrome करना
हाँ जी.
uh, I believe you can see the screen.
So the very first step for the app development in the Android, for the Android, like we should know about the Java or the Kotlin. But for this session, we will focus on the Java tutorial, and we'll talk about the different the basics that we are going to need for the development. Like it's a very popular language from decades, and now used on mobile app, web app, desktop apps, games, and much more. So Uh, here we have a ID, like we can check it out, like we will open it another. Just a second, like
Because I'll be waiting for you're being muted.
Michael.
So, audible?
Yeah, it's okay now.
So let's start with Java. I have opened the website W3 Schools, and there are also multiple websites, tutorial point, and you can comfort yourself like by choosing the website you like. But all are same. This is that there would be some difference in the just explanation and nothing much. So there, let's get started. So I'm just not going into like how to install the Java because for now just we need to focus on the basic concepts that we would be using in our coding. So the very first step for the development we use are variables, and these are same for the Android as well as and these are same for both Android and as well as the Java. So there are different types of variables. Like the first one is string, and string is basically used to store the text. Like you can here see hello. If you wish to store any text like or a line or the phrase, you can save it here. And next is the int. Int is a whole number. Like it can be any number, either in positive or in negative. So it's a whole number. And another data variable, Java variable is a float, and it's used to save the numbers in the decimals. Like if, for example, we have pricing like $19.18 or rupees. So for float, we use float for saving those decimal values. Another same similar is a car and the boolean for the true or false. Like we use. Basically, booleans are used to save just the value, like if it's true or false, and thereafter we use in the operations iteration in the if else loops. Like if it's applicable, like if it's true, then we will do some set of flow would flow, and the if it's not, then the another. So there are data types. You can see how we define them. We design them like by just typing int and you name it. And my number, it can be any number, like it can be a age, or it can be a weight, it can be a height, whatever you wish to write, you can write here. But it should be a fixed int because it's the data type. We say like my num will be an integer and its values here initialized as 5. And it's not fixed, like you can change it later also, like we can reassign my num another value later. So another is float number. We define just by just writing the float initially and the float name, and in the end f. So it's turned into a float number. and car and the string are similar. We just write in the colon in the strings. And the another is boolean. It's just true or false, and there is no any third value. So it's a high level, and at the base level, like how it's stored in the at the computer or in the code, like it's regarding the byte, short, int. So it's all the things are stored in bytes only. So it's the size how much it carry. Like if we are just using a byte, now it's just 1 byte, and the numbers we can save is just minus 128 to 127. And you can say some byte, like you have mentioned, you know about 01, the computer understand the language 01. So in the 01 format, these are saved. And different integer, like it would need a storage of 4 bytes, and in response it is able to store the values near minus 214 crores to 214 crores in positive number. So it's a very fast, it's a pretty generous, so we can have a lot of numbers saved in the integer. But if the requirement is even more, and we can use the long and the float actually. And another is double, is the similar, that are just differences of the size, how much it's going to impact our performance in the application or in the storage. And another is like we can also cast the types, like we can change from integer to, if it's stored like in the string, like we can convert it into a integer. And similarly, if you wish to convert into a double, so it's just simply like you just assign a my int value to a new value, my double, with the initialization. So this is the way we do the casting. And the next one is the operators. Operators are the just simple sums, like if you wish to just add the numbers like x 100 plus 50, so it's the stored value will be 150. And these are the examples, like and here it's a just simple example, like if we have 150, we are adding it in under sum 1, so its value will be 150. So we can use this sum 1, instead of just writing 150, we can just add this value sum 1 plus 250 or sum 2 plus sum 2. So these are all integers, and the corresponding values will be assigned to this integer. Like here you are saying in the comments, it's like so. And these are the different operators we can do, like plus, minus, multiplication, division, modulus, incrementing, decrement. And we can do simply like this is the type of pre-increment, like plus plus x. And we can also use the post, like x plus plus, so it will be incremented later on, and value will be increased by only one. And in decrement it will be decreased by just one value. So the but just keep in mind, like while we do plus, minus, or multiplication, this data type should be same. Like we can't multiply a string with the integer or the boolean, so it would throw an exception. So first of all, these variables should match and the value should match, and only then we can add or minus or multiply them. And even if we have decimals, and but we have set the integer value, so it won't go into the decimal values. Instead it will just round off to the round off the value without the decimal value. So these are the examples you can try out. And there are some operators we use, and operators are basically for the these are logical operators, right, which we use to for a statement, like if a statement is true or false, and correspondingly we enter the value. Say we have a value of x less than 5, and we have to type it double time, and then x is less than 10. So if both the values are satisfied, only then this statement will be executed and the code under it will be executed. Else it will go into the another statement that we have written. So if we have if else, we will again go into deeper in when we start developing the Android application. And this is just for the high level this information we may need. So and another operator is or. It's or like either of the statement can be true. If either of the statement is true, it will fall under the statement, and the below code will be executed. And another is exclamation mark, and it's logical not. And it will just if the value is true, it will return as false, and if it's the executed value is false, it will return as true. So these we will use again. And you can see here also try it, and it will open the script ID on the net, and you can just simply type and test it. And another operator is the string, like we have already mentioned, like it's the assigned value to the greeting. You can type here hello, or second hello CSIR, or the phrase you wish to call it, good evening, good morning. So it will be these values will be assigned to greeting, and wherever you will be using the greeting, this text will be printed. You can print it 100 and as much places as it seems good. Another is the length of the text. If you want to just know the how much is the length of the character to display, like it's simple, just the taking the string out and just checking dot length, it will return the number, like how much characters are there in it. So you can see like here's a many tutorial, and but we don't have enough time to cover each and everything. So at this point of time, I will just skip for other and will focus mainly on the development and the high level information. So, okay. So there is a operator like for math, for square, and if you wish to like square, it will return the value. Like if you have entered the value 4, it will print out as a 64 oh 16. So these are the inbuilt libraries that execute for us. We can also type our own methods and functions for this execution, but if it's already in the library, you can directly use it, because why to reinvent the wheel? So there are value for random numbers. Moving on, we have booleans for true and false value, and like just simply printing the true and false. And another major thing that we mostly do in the coding is the conditions and the statements. So these are the statements we will be using to execute the code. Like if it starts with if and else if switch. So like if we say like a is less than b, so if in true sense a is less than b, then it will be executed, else the another part will be executed. And if we have multiple station, like if we have to check if a is less than b, else if b is less than a, else if a is equal to b, and we can have multiple statements for the execution, and we will be accordingly using them. So here you can see like it's equal to, not equal to, greater than equal to, or greater than. So these are the statement we will use. It's a condition and it's to be executed. Like if 20 is greater than 18, yes it is. So it will got printed. And another is the switch statement. This is the else statement. We write it like this way: if else. And so else will be printed, and you can see like if another syntax is if this condition is true, then this will be executed, else if this condition is true, and like we already mentioned, then this will be executed, and others won't be executed and will be left. And if no situation is satisfied, so it will fall into else. It's the by default will this the code in this uh, curly brackets will be executed. So here is a simple example, like you can see system out good morning, so this will be printed. And Another is the switch variable. Like here in this switch expression, only one value will be passed on. Like it can be just x or y or any other value, z, k, any value. So here it's not like the earlier we mentioned, like if it's greater than or equal to, or this object matches this or not. But in switch, the directly executed line is called. Like if we have passed the x, then directly this will be executed. And if we have passed the z, that means it doesn't satisfy this, so it will fall in the default block, and this code will be executed. Like there's a very good example. Like they have mentioned case one, Monday, Tuesday. These are the days of the week, and if the day is 4, and directly it will print the Thursday. This break keyword to break the any of the loop where the code is executing, and it will break it out and move out of the that particular loop. They are the default keywords, and there's an exercise for you. Another type is the while loop, and these are the loops like it's keep on running while the condition is satisfied. It's not like the if, like if will be executed only one. If this is true, this will be executed only once. But in the while execution, it will be called again and again till it's got till it's satisfying the condition, and as soon it's falls out of the condition, it won't execute, and the cursor will move next and leave this curly brackets. So here is an example, like while I is less than 5. So here in this, if I is less than 5, it will keep on printing till I is less than 5. So, but here we are incrementing the value. Like on the very first time, 0 will be printed, then 1, then 2, 3, 4, and thereafter at the final point, when the value got increased, reached 5, this won't execute. So only 0 to 4 will be printed. And if we didn't write I plus plus, so it's going to be turned into an infinite loop, because it was always going to satisfy, like 0 will be always be less than 5, so it will keep on printing and it won't stop. So there should be a particular case for this while to stop, else the code will just stuck in the infinite loop. So this is a thing we need to keep in mind while using a while loop. So here another is the do while. Like here we will be executing the condition, and while it's less than, it's more similar than just the writing. We are just the way of coding we do. So here it will be executed do, and it will be I plus plus, and till it's less than, it will keep on executing. And another mostly, this is the second most used loop, and it is the for loop for the conditions. Like you can see in the mobile application, you see a list, and you scroll, like if the contacts or the dishes you are ordering, like we have the a lot of data in the loop. So this is where this is the back what we use. So for using the for loop, we have to satisfy three statements. Like the very first statement will be the very first value we are assigning for it to execute, and the second statement will be the condition. It will be a condition, and in this condition for executing the code block, and the third statement is the incrementing. So maybe with the example we can know, like here we have initialized I is equal to 0, and so it is the very first value we have assigned to the loop, and it should satisfy this value, only then it will be printed. So here I should be less than 5, and it only then it will be printed. And another is I plus plus, and every time this loop is executed, the value of the I will be incremented. Like initially it is 0, but on the next time it will turn into a 1. On the next one it will be a 2. On the next one it will be a 3, and it will keep on increasing till it reaches 5, because at 5 this statement will be turns out to be false, because 5 is not greater than 5, it's equal to, so it will fall out of the execution, and we here the 0 to 4 will be printed. And these are the examples for the for loop and the time variable. And this is the example for the string array. I just want to show something, like, let me check it. Yeah, here you can see this is the array. You can try it yourself as they have mentioned it. You can see like it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it will be printed till 4. You can type here 50, like if you wish like it should be printed till 50, you just type run. It's satisfied till 49. So it will print all the values from 0 to 49. And similarly it's plus plus. If you say like double increment, you can double increment it, or if you wish to just type the even numbers, or you want to miss out any one number, we have to write the conditions in it. Like, just for example, let's write an equal to 5. So we used to write another thing, so you can see like how this is executed, the earlier we checked about here. So, and let's just decrease it to 10. So it's keep it's this is the statement, like it prints out what we write. So it's system.out.println I. So all the values of I are printed here, 0 to 9, but I have also added a condition if I equal to 5. So then it should print out. So this is the value it got print in between. So you can also say like if you wish to add another, if is say greater than 6, we in Java we use curly brackets, curly braces. So greater than 6. So it will go printed multiple times, because here just the situation for one value, but here we have mentioned like if the value is greater than 6, every time I value is greater than 6, it will go printed. So 7, I am greater than 6, 8, I am greater than 6, 9, I am greater than 6. So these are the condition we just read about earlier, if else, and you can also type like else. So in the else, it will be a default, like if neither situation is satisfied, then else will be called. So for the just for the sake of testing, let's say I am just printing here, say test. You see, the its ID has also mentioned like it throws an exception. Reach end of the file parsing. This is because we have added one extra curly braces, and it's here. So we have to move this to run the code. So you can see zero test. Earlier this is printed at the first time. If it's not highlighted, this is called, and at this 0, it's not satisfying this condition. It's not either not satisfying this condition. So that's why it falls in the else condition. So every time 0, then test is called. You can here see. Then 1, then test is called, because neither of the conditions are satisfied till it reaches 5. And at the also at the 6 point, because both the stations are not satisfied, that's why after 6 it's also called test. So Just let me close this window. So it was just the high-level explanation about the loops and the if-else we use. And this is an array. It's an array of car. Uh, these are printed this way. Like you have mentioned Volvo, BMW, Ford, Mazda. And it should be only string because we have already mentioned like array type will be string. And how we know it's array? Because of this square brackets. These square brackets define like it will be array and won't hold just one value because in array we can store multiple values. Earlier in variables only one value was stored like only integer or age or weight or any one value, but we need a if we have to store multiple values or the list of students or list of cars or list of anything, then we will use array. And this is a simple array of strings. This can be of also integer. Like if we have to keep a roll number of the students, then we can type like here, what's the roll number and in sequence order, whatever order we would like to have. So these are the simple arrays. We will in the later in this session we will also went on to like if we have a custom data to save in an array. Like if we have to assign a value to a Volvo, like anything, say a price. If we have to add a price tag to this, so how we will save that? Because if we use this type of array, then we have to keep a track of another array with the amount, and the ID should be same. But that's would be very hectic. So we will be create objects and the classes. We will explain later. And here here it's we are using just car and all the values. It's same way now we are printing the values for string I cars. It will be print all the car values like the earlier we have mentioned 0 1 2 3 4, and here it will print Volvo, BMW, Ford, Mazda. So likewise, and as soon the loop is closed, it will and it will throw an exception if we here type any other value, like if we enter integer here or a float value or a boolean value, it will throw an exception because it won't handle the type that type. So make sure like if we are setting the array of string, then all the values should be string only and no other value should be here. You we can also try it yourself. And then next part is the break and continue. It's the statement like if we have to break a statement in between. So this is for the jumping out from a loop. Like as we have did the value integer I is equal to 0 to 10, so it will go print. But if I is equal to 4, it will break and the next part won't be executed. And similarly, we have a continuous statement to keep the loop running, and the next part will be printed. Here the expected will be like at it 4 won't be printed because here we are printing a value. Okay, let me just open it for the sake. So here only these values are printed till 3 because at the fourth value we have break the loop, so no other values is printed below there. But if we just comment this value, because now we double slash means comment, so this line won't be executed, so all the values are printed from 0 to 9. But if we call the break, no value below the 4 will be called. Similarly, you can check the behavior in the Conti. This was the of the break, and now it's of the continue. Other than 4, all the values are printed 5 6 7 8 9. It's not break. Continue it just didn't print the value here. Continue means like just venting back to the loop the way the it was earlier running. Okay. So we can use it in the coding like break and continue depending on the station we have to solve. Okay. So let's move on to array. And these are the one of the most used part of the coding. Like we earlier mentioned, like the strings, and this is how we define an array, and this is how we assign values, and this is the array of int. So that's why there are only integer values, no strings. And how we assess an element, like if we have to assess any particular element, not all the elements, so we do this by indexing. Every array is assessed only by index, and like it start with the 0. So if we said like we have to assess this array, like if we have mentioned the cards type is a array, so we mention here, and the it is the value of index 0. So this will print out only Volvo, but no other car will be printed. Here we can just change to 0, 1 or 2 or 3. So accordingly, these will be printed. So I'm just going to skip for now. And if we have to print all the values, just we can also use an for loop for printing on the names of all the cards here, because at the first time it 0 index will be called, Volvo will be printed, and on the second run it will be a 1, so BMW will got printed, and likewise the other. Similarly, there is another easier way, we can use for each, and by this all the values will be printed. Like here you can see string cards, so it will keep fetch all the full list of all the values it have. It can have hundreds of value, and but all will be printed here one by one. So we have also multi-dimensional array. So these were the single dimensional array, like in this only a linear data is saved, like in a plain one line. And now we have a multi-dimensional array also, like it's with the, if in the plus one plus two you have know about the matrices. So this is the type of that data type. So this is more and complicated than the earlier one. So this is the it's fetching like a both the column and row wise. Like you can see, like if we have to fetch my num, it will be a first column and the row. So its value got printed 7 because this is 0, this is 1. Let me show you for a second. It got printed. So if we have to just fetch the first value, so we can likewise fetch the value of the first row, and it's the value 3. It's the value of first row value 3. So this is 0, that means the first row, and second means the column. So it's the 0th column, first column, second column. So that's why 3 is printed. So let's skip for these were the data types, and moving on fast forward to the data methods. Oh, sorry, Java methods. This is the breaking of code in multiple mini features, like uh, because while developing we have to like write thousands and thousands of line, and writing all in one line or on one single page or on one file, it's not easily readable, and it's not friendly to code also, and for maintaining also. So we use methods, classes to just break down the part of the big coding we do. So methods are the small part that we are going to execute. Like here, it's a simple method. We have called my method. So whatever it's written within it will be executed only if we call this method my method. So it will be called. So here we have three types. It's how we define a method. It can be a public, private, or protected, depending on the accessibility to the other classes. Another is a static. Like static means like if we have to create the object of this class or not. We will later cover the objects also, what are objects and what are classes. And the another is the name of the method and what is the method. And void means like what is the return type. Like void means it's empty, like, so that's why there will be no return value, only the code will be executed. But here if we write int, string or boolean, then we have to return a value particularly. So whenever this method will be called, and if we have set the data type int, so it will return an integer value or the boolean value if we have right here boolean. So depending on the functionality we are doing, so we will be using this type of methods. And how we call a method, it's a pretty simple, and like just writing the name my method, then it will be called, because these are both the static methods, so there won't be, we don't need not to create any object, so that's why. Another is like it's why we use methods. Like say if we have to use multiple times a single method, so instead of writing code again and again in each and every class, we just create a method and that we call from one place. Like here just one line, say if we have written a code of 100 lines and we have to execute it three times, so we are not going to like write 300 lines of code. We will just code a bracket in the my method, and later all the methods will be executed. So here it will be printed I just got executed because it is called three times. So methods are also parameters. You can also pass the parameters and the arguments to it. Like here it's mentioned, here it's string is passed. So whatever you pass here, it will got printed. So let's take a example here. Like the values we print here, so it will be got printed here. My method, it's going to be written Liam, and another one will be ref since, and it's printed in all the three cases because we have prefixed it here. We can change it here, testing static. So this will got printed all three times. So test the static, all this. So the you can here have the change the return type also. Maybe we will cover it also. So here's the age is printed. Like what's the age? Like it's a sorry. We are here assigning multiple parameters. Like here we have just passed one parameter, say string. So in the next example, we are passing multiple parameters. Like here is we are sending name as well the age, and like this you can also like enter the school name or the height or the interest. So you can pass as many requirements you can pass here. So accordingly, this will got printed. Liam is 5. So Liam, this will be executed because we are executing my method. So this will directly call this line, my method. Now it's the first parameter is Liam. Liam is f name and f name is printed. Then is then age, and here it's the type integer. So 5 is printed. There is also return types also, like where we need to add a particular value to like say if here statically we are just adding 5 numbers, so whatever number you are passing here, 5 will be added to it and 8 will be printed. So here there are also like if we have to calculate a particular case for GST, like if we have to calculate how much GST should be calculated, so we will here write a logic and calculate the value, like what's the, like if we have passing here 18%, so accordingly 18% extra will be charged or as required within that amount that got printed. And another is method overloading. Method overloading is like just using the same name but with the different data types. Like here the name is same, my method, but here the parameter is integer, and another parameter we are assigning float with the same name, and the third method we have with the same name but with the two parameters. So this is called the method overloading. Like if we are using the same method name for various reasons. So let's say we have example of plus method x plus y, so it will be added. Okay, moving on. Because I'm just covering up in her JavaScope. So it's just a block like that we printed, like print int equal to 100, so 100 will be printed. Nothing fancy recursion. Another very main concept, like I hope like you have understood, like the variables we use, the strings, integer, floats, the methods we use, like by any name we call a method to execute a particular set of lines. That method can be of various parameters and with different data types. And another thing we just read are the loops and the statements, like if this condition is satisfied, else if this condition is satisfied, or else accordingly which we what we have to print. And then we just went on to do loop, while loop, and the for loop, and these are just the basic concepts for the for executing a particular thing. And why we are using Java is basically object-oriented programming. So object-oriented programming is basically like it's we have a state and a behavior. We can assign anything like state and behavior to any particular thing. Say, for example, you have a dog, and a dog has a color, he has a name and a breed. So these are its states, or you can say attributes. So what are its behavior? And behavior is barking or eating. So these are its behavior. And similarly, you can have a pen. What are its states? Like it's a blue in color. Its shape is like cylindrical. And what is its property, or what is the behavior? It where what you write, it throws the ink on the page. So it's its property. Similarly, you can have a car. So these are the different objects we use. So basically, object is like we multiple times use it. So, language and more data types. So why we are using O? Because it's a faster and easier to execute. It has a clear structure, and the main concept is we don't need to repeat again and again. So that's why OOP is object oriented, Java is object oriented programming to make the code easier to maintain, modify, and debug. So here's the example for a class. Say we have a class named fruit. So you can create multiple objects of it, like you can create apple or banana or mango name object. So this is a class fruit. And similarly, you have another example car. Okay, just sorry, like what is a class? Class is a basically a template, or you can see a blueprint of an object. And an object is an instance of a class. Like if we have created a class, in class we define the values like integer, number of tires, it has 4 tires. And the next is like number of shield, number of windows, say 4, we have number of windows 4. What you do, it writes. So we define all these things in a class, and now we can create multiple objects using that feature car. And that here we are mentioning like we can create multiple objects like Volvo, Audi, Toyota. And we just need to change the variables, like Volvo speed may be different, its mileage may be different, and its light may be different. So these are the variables that are going to change. but all in all the class will remain same. Like yes, it will have a mileage, and same audio will also have a mileage, and writer will also have a mileage. There will be only changing values. So the blueprint will be same class, and we can have various objects of that. And thereafter we can also inherit the, like we can create a class named animal. So animal, you can set you can have a set of features like this are the set of features of an animal or a mammal. Then you can extend those variables or those methods written on this class animal. We can extend in another class. Say we have a class cat, we can extend animal, and all the methods and variables that are in the class animal, we can use that in cat in our own way, the way we like. And we can have another type of dog or anything, just examples. So in other is this is the most important basis of any programming, like classes and objects. So this is the things we keep on using again and again with different blueprints, and the blueprints are basically depend on the statements we have written earlier, and the variables we have defined, the methods we have defined. So this is all in all, like the classes we use again and again. So yeah, one class can be specifically to just one specific thing. So there are many more concepts of the Java. So if we are going to cover each and every, like this session will be far too short, and we have to like cover whatever maximum we can, so that you can also develop the application. So that's all for the Java, and now we will move to Android. Before moving on to Android, I think we should have a little break of 5 minutes, so that you can just before that, if you have some time, you can also download the Android from this link. Just type the download Android Studio, and this is the site for download Android Studio and SDK tools. So just enter download Android Studio, and the software got installed. I already had installed. So we are back. Let me share my screen. So, am I audible? Okay, so let's start for the Android Studio. And for the Android Studio, just type on like download Android Studio, and you will go navigator to this screen and just download this from here. And thereafter, you can just it's very easy for just type next and to a specific location. You can save the software. So this is how it will look, and on the very first page, like when we have to create a new project, just new, when the very first time you will open, it will navigate it to this screen. So basically for Android application, you can build application for mobile phones or the tablet or the wearing operating system, say smart watch and Android TV nowadays, or the automotive. And there are also basic templates for the Android Studio, like you can try out. Like you can see here's a basic activity with this type of screen and the floating button you will have. And the another is the border navigation activity. There will be a multiple fragments in it, and you can navigate to different screens. Like typing here will be a different fragment, and typing here will be a different screen, and thereafter. So you can have an empty screen or full screen. There is also a map activity, and this will only be open on your mobile device while you run, or the login activity, or the primary or navigation route in the many application, or you can see in the Gmail, you can see from like it's have a name, image. Here you can see like the sent emails or the get emails, and you can whatever the idea you have for developing an application, you can use this navigation door also. So these are the basic templates, like scrolling activity, tabbed activity. Here the tabs will be at the top. So it is just for the easier way to just start early. So but we are not going to use any of this. This is your homework, like you can check all the different templates given by the Android Studio, and we will start with the empty activity. So when you type next, here you will ask whether what should be a name of your application, and the very important aspect is the what should be the package name, because this is a package name while you publish the application to the Play Store, and this will be should be a unique. But for keeping it in your on local machine, so you can type anything you wish to. So here is the language. You have two languages, Java or Kotlin. Currently we are working on Java. And another is minimum SDK. So SDK is like the operating system that's running on your mobile device. Like it can be a Nougat 7.1, it can be Oreo or Pi, and now it's Android 12.0. So these are the SDKs you want to minimum support. So you can have a if you set up Android 8, so it will be covered under 82% of devices will run this application. So thereafter you have just finished. Then if you type on finish, the whole project will got synced and this screen will open. So now we here have two things, like one is the layout that we see in a user, like what we see in a user. Let me, it's a emulator, and you can also download the emulator from here. And when you just AVD manager, thereafter you can create your own virtual machine, own virtual device on the so that you can test on the application, or you can simply run on your app by enabling the developer option. So just create a virtual device. You can set the device you wish to have, Pixel 5, 4, 5, any, and typing the next and what release version you should have. I have already created, so I'm not going to create it again. So after just if when you have created on your AVD, you will see like Pixel 5. This is its resolution, its API, and it's the target. And you can simply launch from here. But I have already launched, so this is my emulator. So basically there are two things, like one is the front end or back end, like if you are somewhat familiar with the web development, but here we have the things we are showing to a user, we write those in XML file. XML is basically layout visible to a user. And another is the Java classes in which all the logic is written. So this keep different, like one is the XML and another is the Java the activity, main activity. So it's the activity.java, it's the class where we code. But before that, let's see how we create a layout. So simply you can see here's the design. You can split it both ways, like here you can write, or you can just simply focus more on the code. So for this session, we will cover two layouts. One layout is the linear layout, and another we will cover is the relative layout. Linear layout is basically the planting the views horizontally or vertically. And what I mean by view is view can either be a image view, it can be a text view, it can be a button, it can be edit text or spinner. There are multiple things that you can have. But it's a standalone, so it's a view. What is a view group? View group is as the name tell, like in a view group there will be multiple views within a same group. So how we write it? Like this is the code. Let me just split in two ways so that you can also see. And just both the things can be visible. So here I am just simply going to write a linear layout, and every layout has a property. Like these are some other mandatory properties like that you have to mention. Like one is the width. What should be the width of a layout? Another is the height. What should be the height of a layout? So like here we have mentioned match parent. So the whole screen will be covered from end to end, like vertical and horizontally. Whole layout is under this layout. And another important aspect you have to mention linear layout is the orientation. Like orientation, it can be either horizontal or vertical. Say we have a vertical. So let's say we have I am just going to copy paste this hello world. Okay, sorry. Let me just start initially. Like say for example, you have to write a text view or image view. We will start with the right text view. You have to mention what should be the width, say match parent. What should be the height? Wrap content. Wrap content means it will only cover the area that's written. Say it's a wrap content. And then other says what should be here. What's mandatory, like it should print. So we will say text. So we are going to say here is our text view. It's a text view. So another property you can mention is like what should be the size. Like it can be a text size. You just simple text size. Here it is. It's in DP. DP means density independent pixels. So for example, you can say SP. There are different density pixels. You can check out DP, SP, and the another IP. So here we are going to size write the text size, say 40 DP. So here you can see it's going to cover this much space. And we have another property, like if you want, like it's a highlighter, so it should have a color. So you can simply write text color. So what should be the color? Say if we have any default color black, it's a black color here, or white won't display. Like if we have red, no, we don't have red. So we are writing here black color. it's a different file. I will also go like if we have to change, if we wish to add another colors or any custom color code, so how we can write, I will just tell shortly. So we can also assign this property like text style. If you want this to be a bold or italic or normal, say I wish to it have an italic. So you can here see like this is changing similarly. So but it's just catching to end. So we want like it should be in the readable center and there should be spacing. Then we are going to use padding. Sorry. Padding we are going to give 20 dp. So you can see it's you have got a space of 20 dp at the outside of it. You can simply change to 30 if you want like the space is less. So we have given 30 dp now. So there are various properties you can set to a text view. Similarly, you can also have a say edit text. So for that we will type edit and say match parent, wrap content, and that's it. So for this like we can simply write a text, but it's editors. So we will write a hint like enter your name. So you can here see it's the lighter version of name. When you type on it, it will got erased and you can type your name. Enter your name. Another we can say enter your age. So you can also give a margin, like it's not necessary like it should got you have to just stick to each and every view. So you can simply write margin top. So you wish to give 10 dp, so 10 dp is assigned. You can also give margin top. So again we have given a 10 dp of space. So we will have a one button so that we should have an action on it, like so I'm going to again matching it to the width to the parent and the height to the wrap content. And what should be the text? We can simply set the text say done, and we are closing it. Just keep in mind like when we open and we have to close with the backslash. So now we have button done. Enter your name, enter your age, and the done. Now these are the this is the action button, like we can perform a action on this button. I will just explain it shortly. And other than this, say we have one text view. I'm just going to delete one text view and say margin top, say 50 dp. I'm just setting its text size to say 30 dp. So here's the hello world, and this is our screen. So if you want to see like how it's looking, we can simply run. This is our emulator where you can see the fields we have entered. So here is the value, like this is the sample. So this is in the mobile. This is our mobile. You can simply press back, it will move out. If you want to open our application, just open it. So here is a text view. It's just non-editable and it's just simply a text, or we can simply write it here or enter your values, or we can say sign up. Enter your details. So here we can write your name, like my name is Tarun, so I'm going to write it Tarun. What's your age? 25. So it's done. Now nothing is happening because we are not capturing the parameter. So you can see nothing is writing here done. It's the age, you can say 25, 30, 35, 45, whatever you wish to write here. And Tarun, it's a name. So now we have to just link it with the code base. Like now, like just give. We are going to just take the value of the name and the age we have written, and on pressing done, we are going to print it here. on this hello world. So how we are going to do this? For this we have to set a particular ID to all these views, so that we can set the values from here and this set whatever we wish to write. So here it's enter your name. So how we are going to connect it? It's the edit text. So I have to give a ID. Say I give a ID. So this is the way @ plus ID slash. So and say like ed underscore name. So it should be a unique value, because I can't give this same ID to another view. It will throw an error. Like you can see here, you have a red underline. So I am going to change this name. One edit field I have given name ed underscore name, another is ed underscore a, and to the button I am going to give a ID button, say button underscore done, and another is the text view at the end hello world. So we are going to give the ID of text view underscore say result. So now we have given 4 IDs. Now we have to fetch all these IDs in our main class. So where to access the main class? Say this is Android project. You have to open app. This is Java. In Java you have package that we earlier created com.example.myapplication. In it you have a main activity. And where is our resource file we just created? It will be under resource. Say resource under layout main activity. So this is the places you will find both the classes. And this is the XML file and another is Java file. So how we define the text edit text? We here have to enter edit text, say ed underscore name and ed underscore age. This can be any name, but I have just entered the same name. Another is we also have a button done, and another we have a text view, and the I am going to just write TV and the short form for text view, say result. So but this is standalone, like they don't know like which particular view they have to access. So how we are going to access, say ed underscore name, we are going to find view by ID, and we have just mentioned the ID here. What is the ID? ID is ed underscore name. So for this particular find view ID, like we are going to ID r dot ID dot ed underscore name. Similarly, for the age and for the text view result and for the button done. Why it's throwing an error and these are not? Because we have already mentioned like ed underscore name will be edit text. So here I'm going to write age, and another is the text view result. It should be a text view. So I'm going to write here text view. Another is button done. So we have mentioned. Now we have assessed all the things, like what we are now. The main activities views are now assessed in the main activity. So how we are going to use it? Say we want to capture the click listener on the button. So we can simply write button underscore done dot set on click listener new dot on click listener. There are many other ways to call a particular method. We can also mention from the edit text directly calling the name of the method, or we can use the view on click listener and just simply set this. There are more than multiple ways to just do this same thing. So we are just going to start with the simplest way, and we can later on improve on other aspects and the coding standard as well. So what we are going to do here, so for example, I need to fetch what's the name written. So I'm going to write ed underscore name dot get text dot get string, get text dot to string. So here we will have a value whatever we write. So but we have to initialize like name, it's ed underscore text. So another is string says age, will be ed underscore age dot get text dot to string. So we have written these two values. So now what we have to do, we have to print those values on tv underscore result. And how we set on tv result? Just simply by accessing the name dot set text. So what text should be here? First name should be here, or we can simply say my name is, what's my name, whatever it's written. And you can see, and my age is, what will be the age, whatever you write here. Okay, so here we are going to run, here it's pixel 5. If you attach your personal phone or the testing count, testing phone, so that name will display here. So but we are running on the pixel 5 emulator. I have selected that and running the application. So you can see like Gradle is building and running. Yes, don't ask again, tell me that. So enter your details. So say I'm going to write Vikrant. What's the age? 30. So while pressing done, it's my name is Vikrant and my age is 30. So you can simply see tv result dot text, whatever we fetch here, we are setting here. You can change the name to anything. Say Ambika, done. My name is Ambika and my age is 30. So this is the way we just capture the listener. And now say like we have entered a particular value and we want to pass on to a next screen. So for that we have to create another activity. And how we are going to create it? Just simply right click on the package name, new. What will be a new activity? So there are different activities you want to create. I am just going to create here empty activity. Say its name is main activity 2. I'm just going to change this to landing activity. Done. So what's written here? Landing activity extends app compact activity. This is the okay, we'll explain later. So you can see Oncreate method. So Oncreate is the very first method, not the very first method, it's the method where our view is called. So I just forget to just tell you like the life cycle of an activity. There are different methods that are called in a sequence. So let's start with the Oncreate method, where on the very first time when activity is created, Oncreate is called. Then onStart, onRestart, onZoom. So this is the so our activity is running on Zoom. Like if we lock our phone from the sidebar or any pop-up shows up, so any pop-up shows up, then activity goes into on pause mode. And if we lock our phone or just press the home button and went on to do and using another application, and the activity is in background, then on stop method is called. But on stop is called when we again restart the application, then on restart method is called, and this is the circle of an cycle of an activity. This is a must to every participant to read about this, and just type activity, life cycle of an activity. And you can also see the about the fragments also. This is also a separate part, but maybe we can cover it next time. So back to our coding. So this is the activity I just created: lending activity, extend app compact activity. So we have created, but at the same time we have to create a set XML file also, and the IDE has already created for us. It's activity underscore lending. It's the empty. So say I just wish to give it a background and say color is background black. You can see it's a black color. So for we have newly created activity, this we have to mention in our manifest file also. And what is a manifest file? Manifest file is a file where all the activities and the permissions our application is using, or any background services we are running on our application, or we have broadcast saver to just interpret the notification our application is getting, or anything like the whatever we are using in our application, we have to mention here, else application will throw an exception or it will crash. So like you will see like many applications say access for your contact, or access for your SMS, or wishes to have your location or live location or anything like that, or last known location. All the permissions we mention here in this file manifest file. So here we write users permission. So you can write the permissions required for it. Even internet, like now we are just creating a simple dummy application, but no application can run without internet. So for that we have to take the permission, like our application is going to use the mobile internet. So we will define here the internet or the coverage or whatever the permission we need. And earlier it was just sufficient to just add the permissions here, but now we have to ask at the runtime from the user, like are you willing to share the contact info, or are we allowed to make a call on your behalf, or can we access your contacts? So for all those, user have to actively accept those permission, only then our application can have access to those permissions. So these were for the application. We have some different fundamentals of the application, like the activity we have just created. Other than this, we have services. Services are basically for running something in background, like a service is running to play music, or you can say simply a service is running to just capture your periodic location to share it with say Uber or any other application. So that is the services. Or maybe you have you wish to download some songs in the background, so you can use these services. And there is also intent services. There are that have the different type of services for your particular way, that the way you want to use. Another is broadcast saver, like whenever an intent is called, like you can see when a camera is called, maybe some say if you are going to open a PDF file, maybe in your phone you can have multiple openers to the PDF application, like you can have Adobe or another application. So Android will ask like which application you wish to open. So those we can also do in our application by defining the intent filter. Like if a user is going to make a call, we can have a save and intent filter to for that. Like whenever user make a call, like our application should be asked like, do you wish to open this application? Like example is Truecaller. Like if you are going to make a call, like Truecaller will ask you, do you wish to call it from Truecaller or just from your default phone feature? And there are different things like same like for the location for accordingly. These are for the broadcast servers, also used for the notification. Like if we have built an application where two users chat with each other, but without notification, it will be very hectic. Like one user need to check again and again, do I receive the message from him or her? So for that we have to we use basically notification. Like I typed a message to someone, and he should instantly got a notification like this person has sent a notification. So there are more than this is just a simple way of notification. We can use notification multiple ways, and the multiple ways are different. Like if someone wishes to download something in background, you can simply tell, or you can simply tell a user for like a new update is available for you to download. Or you can say like a banking application many times say like we are under a maintenance and for technical improvement we will be out of service for this much time for 2 hours, so they send notifications. So there are many other applications for notifications. And similarly there is also status bar, navigation bar, and like you have also seen in the some music applications, and the top of the status bar you can see like there are multiple buttons like fast forward. Those are also controlled via the application, and we define here in the manifest file. So moving back to our application we were developing, we have defined another activity, the newly created lending activity. So yes, it's defined, and here is the intent filter. This is the main launcher. So anytime our application is launched, the very first time this screen will be opened, main activity. So keep that in mind. It's the launcher activity. So main activity will be called. So now it's called. Now we wish to like send the navigate to the next screen, and for that we will write intent. Go to lending. Go to lending. Yeah. Wonder why it's throwing an error here, because we have to import certain packages for intent to work service also, and various other things also. So you can simply just click on here and press Alt Enter. When you press Alt Enter, it will automatically import a package. So you can see here it's imported. There are various other imports we have just we asked for the button import, we asked for the edit text and the text view. And if we remove that, it's again going to throw an error like it was earlier throwing. See, there is an error again. If we can paste it like we have imported the intent, so error is gone. So now we have go to landing. So what is intent? Like it's say like we have to go from this screen to another screen. We can mention either by main activity dot this, and we have clearly mentioned like main activity and navigate to which screen, our newly created landing activity dot class. And just keep in mind like here whenever we are navigating to any other class we mention dot class, and but we use this because this is the screen that's currently user is viewing, or the controller is here in this application. You can also eliminate this main activity or simply write this, but now we are just entered main activity dot this and landing activity dot class, but it's just not going to do anything right now. So we have to pass on another method, and that is start activity. And with what activity we have to start? Go to landing. So just run it and check out how it's doing. Pressing done is navigated to new screen. Pressing back, we are back to this screen. So this is the way we are navigating to next screen. So now we wish to send values also to the next screen, say name and the age. So we can also send in within the intent, like we set int go to landing dot put extra. So extra we are sending, say we are sending name, comma, what is the name? This name is the string name, like we have mentioned here. This is this name, and this can be any name that we are by. It can be num or na, anything that we are going to intent. So just for the sake of simplicity, I have just named it same name, and another value if you want like age, you can also send age. writing this way will override the age over the name. So we have to give us different key to this. Just came to mind, like there are key value pair. Key is a unique value, corresponding to it is a value. A value can be anything, but key should always be a unique. So you came across shared preferences also, and many other things like where key and value will be used. We can also save this value, like in the shared preferences, like we save the value here, and on the next run, when the application is run, we are going to retain the values that user had entered last time. So now we have entered go to lending, put extra name, age. Now the user will be navigated to next screen, lending activity. So, but here we don't have anything, so I am just going to display a simple toast. Toast is a message. You can say a simple kind of a pop that display at the bottom of the screen. And what should be a text? Say text should be fetching. So I say I have mentioned a string fetching. It's currently empty. To fill, we can use get intent dot get string extra. What's name? Say its name is name. I am not assigning it any value. Say I have just commented it. Let's run this. Let's check the default behavior. Now pressing the done is navigate to next screen, and empty is printed at the bottom. You can see because it's the value we have mentioned here. But now if we want to like pass the data from the back screen, we can simply say get intent and just overriding the value over the fetching. So let's see how it's performed. Say I have entered AAI. AAI is printed here because whatever value you pass here, CSIR is great. Pressing done, you can see the message CSIR is doing great. Like this way you can pass on multiple values and you can check it out. If we have just type the empty, so empty will be displayed because the number we have just earlier, it was the text empty, but it got overridden by our intent, so it in true sense become empty and nothing was printed here. So likewise you can also have a date picker, time picker, and start or stop a services and fragments, or you can even like divide the screen into multiple parts. Like it's a part of one screen. If we use a fragment activity, we can just divide into multiple fragments, like one fragment here can navigate to different fragments, and scrolling and swiping we can see the different applications. And just do one thing, let me just tell you how to build an application. Like this was just a very simple application. So if you can build application on various topics, whatever you like. So you must check on the OOPS concept and as well the fundamentals that are activity, fragment activity, services, broadcast saver. What are these? You can also use date picker, time picker, and within the application, and you can also use the meters, or you can fetch the location, and you can use the different APIs to fetch data correspondingly. There are many things like we have we yet to learn, like we use APIs, REST API, JSON to communicate with the backend server to application. For that you can use Firebase. Please check out that also, Firebase, that help you to store the data on the cloud via this application. Firebase also helps us to track the analytics or the application faced with any crash or how is the performance of the application. You can all do that, even for the notification. And if you want to test your notifications or want to store data on real-time basis or want to set images, so you can all use the Firebase. It's strongly recommended. You should also check out Firebase to make your application connected, and so that you can have a live data on your application. There are also REST API, Volley, or you can say retrofit. You can have various other APIs to fetch for news feeds, so you can display in your application. And the one more thing, like you should also check is the base recycler view for the list view. So just binding up, because we have just a very short time, so I will just tell you like how to build an application and share an APK. Here you can see at the top of you have a build at the top bar, like file, edit, view, navigation, code, refactor, build. Here is a build. Type on build and build APK. Okay. Just you first run your application. If it's working fine here on the, working fine on the here and it's well tested, so you can create a build by typing on build bundle or slash apks, build apks. So when you type on build apk, you can here see at the bottom Gradle build running. So it's running. So it would take nearly 1 to 2 minutes to create a build, to create an APK, and that you can share like it's created. So here you can type on locate to find it where it is. So this is the app-debug.apk. So it has the size of 3 MB because this is a very short application without any sources or images, just a simple code. So that's why it's of 3 MB. But if you add on the colors or features or images to the application or the different libraries, so its size is going to increase. You can simply change the name to like the application you wish to create. My first application was class note for the students to just for the saving their notes in the application in the image format or the recording format and the on the basis of syllabus. So this is the, and you can simply share, copy and paste on your drive and share the link. Rename by your name or by your application name and paste it in the drive, and you can simply share the link with the team for the competition. So these were just the high level of the Android mobile application. So, but there's a lot of more things you can do within application. It's a it would take a lot of it would take a time, and I think you should practice, and by practicing you can master the things. So that's all from my side for today's session.
Thank you, Charanpreet Singh, for a really informative session. It was a long session, I believe. You know, app development takes a lot efforts, but we cannot summarize all the coding skills and designing skills in just 2 hours. But yes, I must say thanks to Charanpreet for covering almost all aspects of developing an app. So मुझे उम्मीद है कि जितने बच्चे या जितने लोग आज हमसे जुड़े उनको कुछ फंडामेंटल समझ में आए होंगे कि ऐप डेवलपमेंट की और एक ऐप को APK की फॉर्म बना के फाइनली कंपटीशन में सबमिट करने के लिए। इसी के साथ मैं इनवाइट करूंगा मेरे सहयोगी डॉक्टर गौरव पुरोहित को कि वो क्विज ऑर्गेनाइज करें हमारे अटेंडीज के लिए। ओवर टू यू गौरव।
Okay, sir. So students, we have shared you the link of that Mentimeter code. You can go to your chat box and you can find there at 5 o'clock, Sri Pramod Tanwar has shared you a link. Okay, I can share my screen. Just wait.
So the link is also available on YouTube. We have pinned it on the top of the messages. It's also available on the YouTube.
I have started the presentation. You can click on the link and join the quiz session.
Gaurav, I think we are all set. You can start it.
Okay, sir.
Probably you can also switch on your camera if it is visible. And I'll also request Shekhar to switch on his cam.
So shall we start, sir? I think 42 candidates are in.
Yes, but I think you need to share your screen because I think you are sharing the this team session. Yeah, now it's better. Okay, great. Let's start it off. Good, great. Okay, I think you're quite quick. Okay, Gaurav, in that case, we can have more than one right answer. Is it right? You're muted.
The free one is only one, sir.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, great. Shall we go? Let's go to the second one. So the question is a programming environment that has been packaged as an application program. Great. Love to answer this. Well, somebody is answering on the bootcamp as well. Okay. So Shikhar, can we disable the chat on Teams as of now?
Yeah, sure. I'll be disabling. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Yeah, I picked
language?
few questions. Yeah, few questions I have picked from the mentor who was presenting.
Yes, actually, Taran presented a very good thing today.
Yeah.
So I'm not very sure whether the school students were able to make use of that. पर मैं अगर कहूँ तो ग्रेजुएशन के सेशन और ग्रेजुएशन क्लासेस के लिए और जो एक्चुअल में जो सीरियस ऐप बिल्डर्स हैं उनके लिए तरन का सेशन काफी हेल्पफुल था.
करेक्ट सर.
आई बिलीव हम तरन को फिर बुला सकते हैं कोई एक हमारा जब हम आईटी के लोग या कुछ.
बिल्कुल सर, डेफिनेटली व्हेनेवर वी जब भी हम उसको प्लान कर सकते हैं शेखर से स्कूल स्टूडेंट से ऊपर का जब भी हम प्लान करते हैं तो फॉर श्योर डेफिनेटली वी शैल कॉल हिम अप और उसके लिए वो बहुत ही बेटर एक रिसोर्स पर्सन के जैसे एक्ट कर सकता है.
ठीक है,
बहुत सही रहेगा. वेरी गुड.
Recently, we had some sessions for cyber security for CSIR staff. तो उस तरह से हम तरन को पूछ सकते हैं कि भी हमारे स्टाफ के लिए भी.
बिल्कुल.
ठीक.
I think the answer shows lot many has picked the Karan's presentation. Lot many have picked from Karan's.
Yes. Great. Oh, good. Okay, Shekhar, just to announce, 25th, same timings, 4 to 6, we may be having another round for the app development, which will be based on the code.org. So that will be done on the 25th.
Okay.
It will be hosted by Shekhar and Gaurav as well. So this.
Okay.
Okay, Gaurav, we are seeing more interest. 38 participants are there.
It is around 54, sir.
Okay, great.
Around 54 were actively participating in the last few questions.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope
Okay, great.
In the meanwhile, when our participants are attempting the quiz,
yeah,
we can talk of like the prizes. I believe there are 75 prizes for the best entries or best performers in all these activities, I believe.
Yes.
And top performers would be awarded by Minister himself.
Exactly.
And the best of the contents would be hosted on CSIR JIGYASA virtual lab platform.
Yes.
So that's a big thing to achieve for all the participants here.
So in fact, what we feel is that the ratio of prices is very good, and we are seeing the serious entries will definitely make it to one of the prizes, because the number of prizes first time in such events it is 275.
Yes. And I
There are
believe
75 prizes. Yes.
and I believe the prize money is also
Yes.
very
So the top prizes consist of almost 1 lakh rupees, if I'm not
1 lakh.
wrong. Yes.
That's really big. Sir, we never had this type of opportunities in our school time where prize money was so big of 1 lakh of making some content, because there are many themes and many opportunities, like you can create some infographics, you can create comics, you can write some fiction, science fictions, and then it's really, and if you are good in coding, you can also develop some app or animations, and
Definitely.
really big here.
Shikhar, what I feel is that the activities which we have planned as of now in these boot camps, they will prepare the students for the industry or for the job scenario, even for their natural instincts, which right now we call as AI dependent or so that. Fine. So it will prepare the students for those kind of work.
Yes, sir. It's really big opportunity for all the students to It's not only about money. I believe the recognition at the national level, where Minister of Science and Technology or Department of Science and Technology Ministry will be awarding you.
Yes.
Really big.
Yes. So the participants and the awardees specifically, if they make it to the prize level, then they have the opportunity to meet the minister in person whenever they are getting the prizes, for sure.
Yes.
So great. I can see Gaurav. We reached at the end of this. Anna?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So.
Sir, before we wrap up, there is a hand raised by Mr. Naveen.
Yes, one of the.
Can we take?
Yes.
Okay.
And I think you can also switch on the camera for all the participants if it is okay for them. Let's say.
Okay. So I have allowed the cameras. Okay. Naveen, so Naveen, I believe, left before I could ask him.
Okay. Not an issue.
No. Yeah.
Okay.
Naveen,
There.
please बोलिए.
सर मैं फिर दूसरा कहना चाहूंगा कि पूरा जो मैंने एक विजुअल देखा था स्क्रीन का जिसको सर डेमोन्स्ट्रेट कर रहे थे उन्होंने, तो मैं उसको देखकर थोड़ा सा आइडेंटिफाई कर पाया कि वो सेशन कौन सा था। एंड सॉरी कि मैंने एक्चुअली पूरा सेशन अटेंड कर पाया, रियली सॉरी फॉर दैट। और दूसरी सबसे बड़ी बात सर कि मैं पर्सनली मेरी रिक्वेस्ट है सर आपसे कि अगर आप टीचर्स के लिए कोई इस तरीके का अगर अरेंज कर पाए for a week or 2 weeks, then you're really to wait for the session from your side.
मैं बहुत सुन नहीं पाया सर आपको, पर मुझे जो समझ में आया, आपने कहा कि टीचर्स के लिए कुछ कराइए, तो आपको मैं बताना चाहूँगा कि जिज्ञासा के थ्रू हम टीचर्स के लिए भी वर्कशॉप करते हैं, साइंस टीचर्स के लिए पर्टिकुलरली, और साइंटिस्ट कनेक्ट प्रोग्राम होता है उनके लिए, जब वो हमारे इंस्टीट्यूट में आ सकते हैं। बट अभी वो चूंकि पेंडेमिक के टाइम में पॉसिबल नहीं है, तो हम वो वर्चुअली कर लेंगे, और आपको जरूर सर इन्फॉर्म कोशिश करेंगे कि हम कब आप तक पहुंचा पाए।
एक्चुअली सर हमारे बहुत सारे टीचर्स ऐसे हैं जो प्रोग्रामिंग के अंदर बहुत अच्छा परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं सर। दे आर वेरी गुड इन पाइथन एज वेल एज इन जावा से .NET इवन, एंड दे आर डूइंग सम additional tasks. They are maintaining websites and developing web applications even. So we are very much interested to develop mobile application in which we are not having good hand. So if us just guidance, even if you are providing us by giving it 2 or 3 sessions, offline sessions, not online, because we are not feeling comfortable in online, frankly saying. So अगर वो arrange हो जाती हैं, then it will be good for.
ठीक है, कोशिश करते हैं सर इस दिशा में भी कुछ हम कर पाए। और कोई
शेखर आई थिंक जो हमारा अभी का भी जो भी हमारा मटेरियल है वो CSIR जिज्ञासा चैनल के ऊपर, YouTube चैनल के ऊपर भी अवेलेबल है। तो इवन इफ somebody has missed, he can just go there and have a look for that. और दूसरा सर, जैसे शेखर ने बताया, we are already on the path of supporting the schools either via जिज्ञासा और via the जो ATL उनका है via नीति आयोग। तो इस तरह का फर्दर जब भी कोई इवेंट होता है स्पेसिफिकली जैसे आपने बताया मोबाइल एप्लीकेशन डेवलपमेंट का, तो फॉर श्योर यू कीप लुकिंग टू आवर ट्विटर, जिज्ञासा ट्विटर एंड यूट्यूब चैनल, मे बी देयर यू मे फाइंड आउट समथिंग गुड फॉर दिस। So थैंक यू नवीन जी, थैंक्स फॉर योर इनपुट्स। थैंक यू। ठीक है शेखर, थैंक्स अ लॉट। आई थिंक यू कैन रैप इट अप नाउ। इट्स अ वेरी गुड वंडरफुल सेशन फॉर द स्टूडेंट्स एज वेल।
ओके, विद दैट हमारे सभी प्रतिभागियों को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। जो हमारे स्टूडेंट स्कूल से जुड़े, टीचर्स जुड़े, उन सभी को धन्यवाद। आज के हमारे स्पीकर मिस्टर तरनप्रीत सिंह को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, वो हमसे जुड़े, उन्होंने बहुत वक्त दिया। और ऑर्गेनाइजर्स को भी धन्यवाद, CSI जिज्ञासा टीम को, डॉक्टर प्रमोद, डॉक्टर गौरव, डॉक्टर अनिल सैनी की टीम जो इस प्रोग्राम को लाइव स्ट्रीम कर रही हैं, और सभी अटेंडीज को धन्यवाद। With that, I formally announce to close this session.
Great. Thank you, Shekhar. It was a wonderful, and you wonderfully moderated it well. Thanks a lot. It was a very nice thing. Thank you, Shekhar. It was a good program. Thank you. Thank you. Shekhar, don't forget to stop it. Stop the stream.
Sure, sure.